Amy's hands tremble as she tightens the saddle straps. The wind howls across Heartland, carrying the weight of choices she can't take back. Nathan's life is hanging by a thread, and deep down, Amy knows this isn't just about saving him. It's about saving a part of herself she lost long ago. She takes one last look at the open fields, the same ones that once brought her peace, and whispers, "I can't let him die. Not like this." The morning light breaks softly over Heartland, but for Amy, there's no peace in the sunrise. The ranch that once felt like home now feels like a reminder of everything that's gone wrong. She stands by the paddock, watching the horses graze. But her mind is miles away, back to that one moment she keeps replaying over and over again. The accident, the scream, the dust, and Nathan falling. It wasn't supposed to happen. Amy had trusted her instincts, like she always does. But that day, her instincts failed her. Nathan, a young horse trainer she'd been mentoring, was thrown off during a wild horse rescue. Since then, he's been in the hospital, silent, broken, and uncertain if he'll ever ride again. And Amy? She's been carrying the weight of it all. Lou tries to talk to her, her voice calm but firm. "Amy, you can't keep blaming yourself. It was an accident." But Amy's eyes don't move from the horizon. "Accidents don't happen without reason," she says quietly. "And I can't live with this one." At dinner that night, the mood at the table is tense. Jack watches Amy with the same concern he's had for years. He's seen that look before. It's the same fire that once drove her to save horses no one else could. But this time, it's different. This time, that fire could burn her whole world down. Tim, ever the realist, leans back and warns her, "Don't go chasing ghosts, Amy. You can't fix everything." But Amy doesn't reply. Her silence says everything. The guilt, the pain, the fear, they're all building into something unstoppable. Later that night, she walks into the barn alone. The horses stir softly as if sensing her turmoil. She reaches out to Spartan, her old companion, brushing her hand over his mane. Her voice cracks as she whispers, "You've always known, haven't you? You've always known when I can't let go." The barn light flickers, shadows moving across the wooden walls. Amy closes her eyes and breathes in the familiar scent of hay and dust. For a brief moment, she feels grounded again until her phone buzzes. A message flashes across the screen. "Nathan's not improving. They don't think he'll walk again." Her heart sinks. The phone slips slightly in her hand. The sound of distant thunder rolls over the fields, and in that moment something shifts inside her. The guilt turns into resolve. She can't just sit and watch someone else lose hope. Not when she still has the power to change it. As the storm clouds gather, Amy mounts Spartan and rides out toward the hills. The wind lashes against her face, but she doesn't slow down. She's chasing redemption, not just for Nathan, but for herself. Over a soft voiceover, Amy's thoughts echo in the background. People say time heals all wounds. But time doesn't heal guilt. Only action does. The camera pans out, Heartland glowing dimly under the stormy sky, as Amy disappears into the distance, leaving behind safety, family, and reason. The risk begins here. The night feels heavier than usual. Clouds swallow the moon, and the air carries a chill that seeps into Amy's bones. She's been awake for hours, pacing the barn floor, her mind looping between guilt and determination. The rain taps softly on the tin roof, like the sound of her doubts knocking for attention. Every time she closes her eyes, she sees Nathan, his pale face, his broken body, and that haunting question he asked before the accident. "You really think some horses can't be saved?" Those words keep echoing in her head. Maybe this isn't just about Nathan? Maybe it's about proving she still believes in second chances. By morning, Amy decides she can't wait any longer. She drives out to the hospital alone, her truck splashing through puddles and gravel. When she steps inside, the cold scent of antiseptic hits her like a wall. Nathan lies motionless, surrounded by machines that beep softly, each sound like a countdown to the moment she fears most. His mother sits beside him, her eyes hollow from crying. When Amy walks in, the woman's lips tremble. "They said he might never walk again," she whispers. "He loved those horses more than life, and now he can't even feel his legs." Amy swallows hard, trying to hold back tears. I'm going to help him, she says, voice steady but low. The woman shakes her head. You've done enough already. That sentence hits her like a whip. Amy turns and walks out without another word. But as she steps into the rain, the guilt burns into resolve. She's not giving up. Not this time. Back at Heartland, everyone notices the change. Lou senses it first, the way Amy avoids eye contact, how she spends long hours alone in the barn. Jack tries to reach out gently. Amy, talk to me. You can't carry this alone. Amy answers without looking up. I'm not carrying it, Grandpa. I'm fixing it. Jack knows that tone too well. It's the same one Marion had before the accident years ago. He sighs deeply. Knowing there's no stopping her once her heart's set, Amy spends the next few days researching, calling specialists, and going through Nathan's training logs. She discovers that the horse Nathan was riding, Shadow Runner, wasn't just wild. It was terrified. It had been abused before Nathan tried to rehabilitate it. And Amy remembers something Nathan told her before the fall. He only trusts the person who shows no fear. Those words light a spark. Amy realizes that to save Nathan, she needs to save Shadow Runner first. Maybe helping the horse heal could somehow bring Nathan back, give him the will to fight. But there's a catch. Shadow Runner was sent to a remote property up north, considered too dangerous to handle. The place is miles away, deep into rugged country roads that flood easily when it rains. Tim warns her, "It's not worth it, Amy. You could get stuck out there. Let it go." But Amy can't. She's haunted by the image of Nathan lying helpless in that hospital bed. If I don't go, she says, I'll lose more than sleep. That night, she prepares for the trip. She packs only what she needs, a rope, first aid, and a small bag of apples. As she saddles Spartan, she runs her hand along his mane. One more ride, old friend, she whispers. The storm hasn't passed, but she rides into it anyway, the thunder echoing her heartbeat. The ride is long and rough. Mud splashes against her boots, wind tearing through her hair. Her mind flashes between memory and fear, the accident, the hospital, her mother's death, all the moments she couldn't change. And yet here she is, trying again, hoping this one act might undo years of pain. When she finally reaches the broken-down corral, she sees Shadow Runner pacing wildly inside. The horse's eyes are wide with fear, its body trembling. For a moment, Amy hesitates. The storm rages around them, but it's the storm inside her that feels louder. Her voice cracks as she steps forward. Easy, boy. It's just me. The horse rears back, its hooves slicing the air. Amy stands still, refusing to flinch. Every instinct screams at her to step back, but she doesn't, because deep down, she knows this is her chance to make things right. The rain soaks her to the bone, the ground trembling with thunder. Slowly she extends her hand. I'm not here to hurt you, she whispers. I'm here to fix what I broke. Shadow Runner's breathing slows, its eyes softening. For the first time, Amy sees trust flicker through the fear. And in that fragile moment between chaos and calm, she realizes something powerful. Saving Nathan might not start in a hospital room. It starts right here, in this storm, between her and a broken soul who needs healing just as much as she does. The camera pans out as Amy stands in the rain beside the trembling horse, her silhouette framed against flashes of lightning. Her voice echoes softly. Sometimes, to bring someone back, you have to walk through the storm yourself. The storm has not stopped. It's grown louder, angrier, like nature itself is trying to test Amy's resolve. The sky flashes white every few seconds, and each strike of lightning feels like a warning. But Amy doesn't turn back. She can't, not when she's this close. Shadow Runner stands trembling in the corner of the corral, rain cascading down his coat, eyes flickering with panic. Amy's breath is uneven, her voice barely audible over the roar of the thunder. I know you're scared, she says softly. So am I, but we can't let fear win tonight. For a long moment, it's just the two of them, woman and horse, trapped in the storm, both fighting battles no one else can see. Amy steps closer, inch by inch, her boots sinking into the mud. The horse flinches, snorts, then backs away. But she doesn't rush him. She moves like she's breathing underwater, slow and steady, her hand outstretched, her eyes calm. "You trusted Nathan once," she whispers. "You can trust me too." The horse lowers its head slightly, nostrils flaring. The world feels suspended, like the rain itself has paused to watch. Finally, Shadowrunner lets her touch his neck, just a light graze, but enough to break through the wall of fear. Amy smiles through the rain, tears mixing with the storm water on her face. "That's it. Good boy?" But the moment doesn't last. A sharp crack of thunder spooks the horse, and in an instant it bolts. The gate bursts open and Shadowrunner takes off toward the open hills. Without thinking, Amy leaps onto Spartan and takes off after him. The chase begins. The screen fills with the pounding rhythm of hooves against soaked earth, the lightning slicing across the dark horizon. Amy leans low, her voice carried by the wind. "Come on, Spartan, we can't lose him now." Every second counts. Every heartbeat feels like a gamble. The path is slick and uneven, rivers of mud cutting across the trail, but Amy doesn't slow down. She's not chasing just a horse, she's chasing redemption, forgiveness, and the belief that miracles are still possible. Ahead, Shadowrunner stumbles near the edge of a flooded ravine. The ground gives way slightly under his hooves, and he lets out a terrified cry. Amy pulls Spartan to a halt and jumps off before thinking twice. The rain hits her face like needles as she scrambles toward the edge. The horse is trapped, one leg tangled in broken wire, the mud threatening to drag him down. Amy doesn't hesitate. She slides into the muck, ignoring the cold and pain. It's okay, she says, voice trembling but sure. "I've got you." She pulls at the wire, her hands bleeding as she works through the twisted metal. Each movement sends pain shooting through her fingers, but she keeps going. The horse thrashes and mud splashes up into her face. "Stop fighting me?" she shouts, her voice breaking. "I'm trying to help you." For a heartbeat, it feels hopeless. The rain is relentless, her arms are weak, and the horse is panicking again. But then something changes. Shadowrunner goes still, eyes locking onto hers. There's fear, yes, but also a spark of trust. Amy breathes out shakily. "That's it, trust me. Just this once." With one final tug, the wire snaps free. Shadowrunner stumbles, but Amy grabs his reins and steadies him. "Easy, easy," she whispers. He's shaking, covered in mud, but alive. And so as the camera pans upward, lightning flashes across the sky, and for the first time all night Amy looks peaceful. She strokes the horse's neck and murmurs, "You're safe now." "We both are." Then, in a soft voiceover, we hear Amy's thoughts. People think courage means not being afraid. But real courage is being terrified and doing it anyway. She looks back toward the horizon, her clothes soaked, her hair plastered to her face. The faint glow of dawn begins to push through the storm clouds, painting the fields in silver light. It's as if the night itself is exhaling, surrendering to her determination. Amy mounts Spartan again, leading Shadowrunner beside her. The road back to Heartland will be long, but something inside her has shifted. For the first time in days, she feels hope. Maybe, just maybe, Nathan will too. Cut to the hospital room. Nathan stirs for the first time, his hand twitching slightly as the monitors beep faster. His mother gasps softly, calling for the nurse. And though Amy isn't there to see it, the connection between her and Nathan is clear. When she freed Shadowrunner, something freed inside Nathan too. Back in the saddle, Amy wipes the rain from her eyes and lets out a shaky laugh. "We did it, boy," she whispers to Spartan. The storm fades behind her, leaving only the sound of hooves and the first gentle rays of morning light. Her voice returns one last time as narration. Some people wait for miracles. Others ride straight into the storm to make them happen. The camera pulls back, Heartland in the distance, the storm breaking, the world quiet once more. But Amy knows this peace won't last. Her actions tonight have changed everything. The storm has passed, leaving the land washed clean and heavy with silence. Morning light spills across the Heartland Valley, glistening on puddles and wet leaves. It's a peaceful scene, the kind that would normally calm Amy's heart, but today, it only makes her realize how much has changed. Every muscle in her body aches, every breath stings from exhaustion. Yet deep down, there's something new stirring in her chest, relief. And the faint pulse of hope. She leads Shadowrunner into the barn, the horse limping slightly but alive. Spartan snorts softly beside him as if proud of their victory. Amy's hair is still damp, her jacket caked in mud, but she smiles for the first time in what feels like forever. She whispers, "You did good, boy," running her hand down Shadowrunner's neck. The horse doesn't flinch this time. Instead, he nudges her gently, almost like he understands that she didn't just save him. She saved herself too. Jack appears in the doorway, his silhouette framed by the early sunlight. He doesn't speak right away. He just watches her, a mixture of pride and worry etched into his weathered face. Finally, he says quietly, "You could have been killed out there." Amy turns to him, eyes tired but steady. "I know." He takes a step closer. "Then why did you do it?" Amy's voice breaks just a little. "Because he needed me. And I couldn't just stand by and watch another life fall apart when I could do something, anything, to stop it." Jack sighs, shaking his head, but there's a softness in his eyes now. "You've got your mother's heart," he says. "Too stubborn for your own good. But it's what makes you who you are." He lays a hand on her shoulder. "You did right, Amy, but don't forget, the people who love you worry too." The camera lingers on their embrace, quiet, emotional, unspoken love between two generations bound by loss and courage. Later that day, Amy drives to the hospital. The rain has stopped, but the clouds still hang low, heavy and gray, as if the world hasn't fully decided whether to move on. She walks through the hallway, boots squeaking against the polished floor. Her heart pounds as she nears Nathan's room. When she steps inside, she freezes. Nathan is awake. His eyes, once lifeless, now have a faint spark in them. His mother sits beside him, smiling through tears. The doctor said it was impossible, but somehow, against all odds, he's moving his fingers, feeling sensation in his legs again. Nathan looks at her, his voice hoarse. You came back." Amy nods, her throat tight. "You didn't think I'd give up that easy, did you?" He laughs weakly, and for a brief moment the weight between them dissolves. She tells him about Shadowrunner, how he's safe, calmer, healing. Nathan's eyes glisten. "You saved him?" Amy shakes her head softly. "No, we saved each other." There's a quiet beat filled with emotion. Nathan looks down at his trembling hands and whispers, Maybe I can ride again someday." Amy smiles. "You will. When you're ready." Back at Heartland, life begins to find its rhythm again. Lou is in the kitchen, brewing coffee, while Jack fixes the fence outside. The storm damage is visible, a few broken rails, flooded patches, but there's something comforting in the rebuilding. It mirrors what's happening inside each of them. Amy sits by the paddock, watching Spartan and Shadowrunner graze side by side. The world feels softer now, as if the ranch itself is breathing easier. She closes her eyes and listens to the sounds, the gentle snort of the horses, the rustle of the wind, the faint laughter from inside the house. For the first time in weeks, she feels at peace. Her voice overlays the scene, calm and thoughtful. Sometimes, the hardest part of healing isn't fixing what's broken, it's forgiving yourself for breaking it. The camera slowly pans up to the sky, where the clouds are beginning to part. Light pours through, painting Heartland in gold. Everything feels whole again, almost. Just as the moment settles, Amy's phone buzzes. She frowns and picks it up. The screen shows an unknown number. She hesitates before answering. "Hello?" There's a pause, then a familiar voice crackles through the line, strained, urgent. "Hey, me, it's Clint. You need to come to Calgary right away." "It's about Nathan." Amy's eyes widen, her heart skipping a beat. "What happened?" But the line goes dead before she can finish. The wind picks up again, carrying a whisper of unease. The peace she felt moments ago vanishes into the air. She looks toward the horizon, the same direction she rode into the storm, and exhales sharply. Spartan raises his head as if sensing the tension. Amy mutters under her breath. I thought it was over. Then she straightens, determination flickering in her eyes once more. But maybe it's just beginning. The screen fades to black dot text on screen. Heartland, Season 19, Episode 5. The Weight of What's Next. Coming soon. Voiceover, final line. When you save someone, you don't just change their life, you change your own. But every choice has a cost. And Amy's is yet to be paid.